talk us through your off-season goals the last summer and the spring, I guess?
Yeah, definitely emphasis on getting bigger and stronger, like always. Repair my body. That's the first step in the off season. Take care of any nicks and dings from the season. I feel like I did a good job of that. Stayed in the training room, healed my knee up. Felt good going into spring ball, and then I was just trying to hone in on Coach Clem's techniques and the way he wants us to play offensive line, and we feel like we took a good step in the spring doing that, and just continuing that throughout the summer, and then growing even further through fall camp.
Talk about going through that coaching change. What are some of the challenges, and maybe what's the technique that's really different that maybe challenge you to relearn something?
Yeah, Coach Mirabal was big on the double under technique for us offensive line, and Coach Clem doesn't necessarily believe in that technique. He's hands inside, and so that's been a change. We had 4 straight years of doing the double under and learning that technique and really honing in on it. And now we're trying to relearn going back to hands inside, shooting our hands into the defender's chest, and so it's been an adjustment. But I feel like through spring ball, I got better at it and made improvements, and just looking to continue to grow through that.
How does that experience help you grow overall? Just needing to have different skills, for this season and maybe beyond.
Through
something like that.
Definitely, yeah. Being able to learn all the techniques. There's not only one right way to play offensive line. There's not one way to play any position on the football field. There's multiple techniques that will work, and you can have success doing a lot of different things. So just being able to learn it all and be flexible and be coachable, that's really what we worked on.
There's techniques, but there's also a new playbook, I assume new terminology. What's that process been like, and do you enjoy that, or are you thinking, wow, we just have the last routine down?
My third offensive coordinator in my time here, so definitely been an experience. But for the most part, it's just new terminology, really. Football's football, man. There's inside zone, outside zone, counter. There's all the basics, but the only big difference is terminology-wise. Every coordinator has different ways they want to call things, and so just learning the new terminology has been the biggest adjustment because ball is ball.
How does it help that you guys have played together as a group? A lot of you, Alex himself, in terms of learning stuff and helping each other learn stuff. Is that a big deal?
Yeah, totally. Having a lot of synergy up front, has been a really good thing for us, and just continue to build off of what we have already built these last couple of years. That's going to be a key going into the season, and we feel really comfortable playing next to each other, so that really helps us.
How do you build that communication of calls on the line? I mean, obviously during practice, but it's something you go through, I guess, in meetings or when you're out eating pizza, or how do you develop that so it becomes instinctual where you don't think about it?
Yeah, just taking reps together, whether that's in practice or in games, it's so invaluable or so valuable, and we need that, constantly. And, like you said, off the field too, whether we're out at dinner and just, bonding through things like that. But, practice and game reps are really what we need. And so we've gotten a lot of that together, and we feel really comfortable next to each other.
Who's the most vocal take charge guy of the O-line group?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say probably either me or Alex, probably the most vocal guys. TJ and Solid don't talk much. They're pretty quiet dudes. They just kind of go with the flow. So probably either me, Alex, maybe Steve too. We all have we're a little vocal.
What'd you do this summer? Did you hang out with Alex a lot? or get away from each other?
No, me and Alex are roommates, so there's no getting away from each other. We spend we've been roommates for 5 years now, so we spend quite a bit of time together, and we enjoy each other's company. But just getting out to the river, playing a little golf, all the things to do in the summertime here in Oregon.
Who's the better golfer?
Oh, Alex doesn't play golf, but
okay.
I like to play with like Dawson Jaramillo, and I play, and his little brother Bailey. We get out, and Bailey is the best by far. It's not even close.
You had to play Alex's position at one point last year. Just what did you learn from that, and how do you think that's going to help you guys this year?
I was pretty comfortable playing center. That was where I played my first three seasons here. So it was just learning what I had already learned previously. It's definitely different in game. And having to go through the process of being the main communicator. Kind of just reprocessing my brain to be able to do all that again. It wasn't a huge adjustment, but there was definitely a couple. The first game was a little bit of an adjustment, especially because it was such late notice. Getting the hour before kickoff, hey, we need you to play center. That was a little bit of an adjustment, but once you get through that first quarter, you kind of get in the flow of the game again, and it's just just like old times.
There's been like more of an appreciation for offensive linemen. I just think generally recently, just amongst fans. Just I guess how does that feel for you to know that fans kind of understand what you do?
Yeah, I mean, we appreciate it. Sometimes it's a thankless job, and we understand that. That's kind of part of the offensive line position. But we try and go out and do our job and help the team win any way we can.
What made you want to be an offensive lineman, man?
What's that?
What made you want to be an offensive lineman?
Well, so my dad played offensive line here back in the '80s. But when I was growing up, I was pretty small, so I played a lot. I played receiver and outside linebacker, like in youth ball. And then when I got to high school, Coach Jay, my high school coach, told me, "Hey, you're going to play offensive line." And yes, coach. And that was that. So that's when I started playing offensive line, and it's worked out well. I think he had my best interest in mind.
You guys have been building towards something special, and having that experience together seems to be an advantage for you guys. How excited are you about that opportunity to have all of you guys together in this type of situation?
Yeah, no, it was a big deal when everyone decided to come back. We felt really good about it, and we felt confident that another offseason was just going to help us grow even further. We felt like we had a good season last year, but we still feel like there's areas for us to grow and places to improve. So we're just looking to do that every single day.
As a kid from Eugene, how often do guys from Sheldon or the area reach out to you and maybe ask for tips or tricks or just want to know what it's like playing for the Ducks?
Yeah, I mean, when I get the opportunity to, I like to go back to Sheldon and volunteer if I have time. I was able to get out there for a couple of their spring practices, and I really enjoy that. That's what I want to do in the future is coaching. So any opportunity I can to give back to those guys, and it means a lot to me because I know when I was in their shoes, and if a guy came back that was a college player, that really meant a lot being in high school. So I hope that they appreciate if I'm able to get back and give time to them.
What inspired you to be a coach? Is there any, I guess, favorite coach or a motivating factor?
I mean, I had a lot of great coaches throughout high school. I really enjoyed my time at Sheldon, and I had a lot of great mentors and leaders there. So that was part of it. And then I just really like the game of football, and I think it's you can grow a lot as a person and a player through football. So I mean, just allowing kids that opportunity is something I look forward to.
Talked earlier about that hands inside technique that you're working on, the group is working on. When it's done perfectly, when it's done well, what philosophically is that supposed to help with?
I mean, the biggest thing, offensive and defensive line play is determined based on who can stop the other one's feet first. So if the offensive lineman can get the defender to stop his feet and have to move backwards, you're in good shape, and vice versa for a defensive lineman. So when you shoot your hands, you can stop their feet. You have a really great opportunity to be successful, especially in a double team when you get two people and they've got their feet stopped. You can get a great push off the line of scrimmage, and you can change the line of scrimmage, which is what we're trying to do.
Brian, I've been asking kind of the running backs, receivers, defensive backs, if there's anybody that maybe kind of would double up track football. You did shot put and discus over at Sheldon. Any interest in getting back into that?
I mean, I've been out of it for a long time. I haven't thrown shot put in 6 years, but I really enjoyed doing shot put and discus in high school. It was fun. I enjoyed learning the techniques, and I did the spin in high school for shot put, which is not common, but I really enjoyed doing it, and I don't think there's any room for me to join the track team. But anyway, I had a good time doing it. It was a lot of fun.
I saw on athletic.net it had your 100 time from high school. I think it was in the 12s.
Yeah, I think I was like 12. I don't know, 12 something. But
what do you think it'd be now?
Maybe a little faster. I don't know. I hope so. No, every year the throwers would do like a 100 meter at like one of the dual meets,
okay.
And so we would do that every year. There'd be like 8 of us lined up from Sheldon that were all throwers, and it was kind of just like a funny thing. But we enjoyed competing and getting after it.
Ryan, all you guys had the opportunity to potentially leave the program and then all come back. What was that decision-making process like? A little bit of the last dance type of deal, or?
I know for Alex and myself, we felt like we kind of got robbed the last season a little bit with injuries. Both of us had to miss 4 or 5 games, and having to miss those games, you really have an appreciation for Oregon football and just the game of football itself. So to both of us, at least, I think there was not much of a decision to be made because we felt like we still had something to prove at this level and here at Oregon, and being Oregon kids, we both grew up loving this program. So anything we can do to help elevate this program, we want to do. And so, like I said, we felt like we missed out on last season, being injured. And so I can speak to Alex and myself, and that's the reason we came back. I know Steve Steve was kind of in the same boat. Once we were all coming back, just felt like we all felt like we had more to prove, and that was a big decision why we came back.
What specifically was your injury last year and what kept you out?
I tore my MCL against UW, so it was like 6-7 weeks, no surgery, and I was full go when we came back in January for winter conditioning.
What was working with Coach Wilson Love? Just how was that rehab process, and how is he as a human?
He's awesome. I love Coach Love. He's a really good dude. A lot of energy. I like how this offseason we did a lot of kind of individualized training, if that makes sense. So like the O-line wasn't doing what the receivers were doing, and things like that, which was it was a little bit of a change. We had all been kind of doing the same stuff, which I mean it's just kind of different philosophies, but I liked what Coach Love implemented for us. I felt like it worked, and I feel like we got a lot stronger.
What was maybe something different or specific that you did that you hadn't done before? Can you speak to that for the O-line? What's a drill or an exercise or something that resonated with you?
We pushed a lot. We pushed a lot of prowler sleds this offseason with Coach Love. He had us on the sleds like almost twice a week, every week for like the whole offseason. So that was a bit of a change, but I think it was a good adjustment. And I think it'll translate to football really well for us.
Did you ever try to jump in the receiver drills?
Not with the receivers, but maybe with the tight ends. I think I can maybe catch a couple of them.
You have a breakout player for this season?
Ooh, that's a
Could be
good
you.
question. I really liked what I saw from Noah Whittingham in spring ball. He was really explosive player, good runner, had good vision. I really like the running back room we got though. Sean Dollars, Byron, Bucky, Noah, all those guys. A lot of talent in that room. A lot of dudes that could have a really good season.
This is the first time in a long time that no Verdell, no Dye back there. Just again, he just kind of touched on it. But what have you seen from that group, and what are the expectations on that end?
Yeah, I mean, I know they'll be explosive. They'll make us right when we don't maybe block it all up right. They'll make a guy miss, and it's really nice having those guys back there that are able to do that.
How about the relationship with the quarterbacks in terms of how does that develop when there's a quarterback competition and guys are new? What type of things do you work to develop that connection? And that's a big word with you guys.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, we had a good relationship. The O-line's had a good relationship with Jay and Ty, ever since they've been here. They're really good dudes. And, when Bo came in, he had dinner with Alex and I, one of the first days he was in Eugene, and just wanted to get to know us and kind of get to meet some of his offensive linemen. And, I thought that was really good of him to reach out to us. And, I've really enjoyed having Bo around here. He's a really good kid, and he knows ball. He's played a lot of ball in the SEC, good conference. So it's a great addition, and I know they'll have a great competition this summer.
You had a coach basically from the day you were born. I'm talking about your dad. Did he always coach you all the way through growing up, even to today?
I mean, he doesn't so much coach. He stopped coaching me in high school, really. He let my high school coaches do that. He didn't want to be the dad that was, overstepping his bounds. But, he likes watching me play. I know he gets to every game he can, and, it's really special being able to share Oregon football as we've been able to.
Do you have any Justin Flo stories?
Justin Flo, man, the kid's an animal. I hope he stays healthy this year so everyone can kind of see what we've been able to see in practice, man, because dude's different. And, I like I said, I hope he's able to play a full season because he's a really, really good linebacker.
Do coaches have to talk to him specifically about, keeping himself safe because he plays so recklessly?
Yeah, they've had to tell him to tone it down a little bit and, walkthroughs and stuff because, I mean, he's 110% all the time, which, you can really appreciate that. But, there's a time and a place to be going full speed, and so sometimes he's had to tone it down a little bit. But rather tell a guy to tone it down than have to turn it up, and you never have to tell him to turn it up.